I'm the President and Chief Executive Officer of ComEd. You guys are ready?
Yes.
All right. Well, good morning. My name is Gil Quinones. I'm the President and CEO of ComEd. As you know, our service territory, the southern region, was hit hard by the severe weather event Monday evening into Tuesday morning. In fact, we lost about 440,000 customers. But the good news is that we have restored almost 350,000 of them. And today we have achieved more than 80% restoration rate. And our goal is to restore as many as we can, as quickly as we can over the next 2 days. As you can see here on I-55, this is an important artery of the state. And this got hit by, we believe, maybe a micro tornado that took out transmission towers. These are 765 kilovolt transmission towers and 138 kilovolt transmission towers that move power back and forth in our state. And the job that we're doing here is to make sure that we remove the equipment safely. And so I want to commend the employees of ComEd, our contractor partners, along with all the other workers that are working across our service territory restoring power. We even have 300 line workers from Canada. And I want to specifically thank Governor J.B. Pritzker for writing the letter to the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol to allow those Canadian line workers to come and join and help us in the restoration of power here. But right here where we're standing now, the job is to make sure that we safely remove the infrastructure that's blocking I-55. It's a very involved process to do it safely and then rebuilding it back. So to describe that process in more detail, I'm going to ask our Senior Vice President of Technical Services, Mark Baranek, to do that part of the explanation. Mark?
Thank you, Gil. And good morning, everybody. My name is Mark Baranek, M-A-R-K-B-A-R-A-N-E-K. And I am, as Gil mentioned, the Senior Vice President of our Technical Services organization at ComEd. And before I get into perhaps a little bit more of a summary on our activities and our plan here for today in order to go ahead and try to get this expressway opened as expeditiously as possible, I would also like to thank, one, our Illinois State Police. Major Kelter and his team have just been tremendous. We literally have had hundreds of vehicles moving in and out of here over the last 30 hours, bringing in personnel, equipment, material, and just the cooperation and the support has just been incredible. So again, just a very large shout out and thank you to the Illinois State Police here. Additionally, I'd like to thank DuPont, who graciously allowed us to use their facility here as our staging area. We have a command center set up and staging of both material and other equipment, and really appreciate that support that we've been getting here. The other thing I'd like to mention is that we recognize that this is a huge impact to both travelers as well as the communities that surround this area with the burden of additional traffic congestion. We do appreciate the sensitivity to that. We recognize that we're doing absolutely everything we can to clear this road as safely and expeditiously as possible. And I just want to stress that safety really is the primary focus here. This is the safety of our crews, the safety of our customers, the safety of our public is always at the forefront of all the work that we do. And certainly with the damage and the situation we have here, it's even further compounded. So that has been the predominance of caution, is from a safety standpoint. Yesterday, well, first I'll get into damage. As Gil mentioned, we had the weather event that came through here on Monday evening, we certainly had many tornadoes and funnel clouds that were spawned out of that event. And I think it's clear that we had one of those that came through here. The damage that you see actually impacted 3 transmission lines and 2 distribution circuits. The crumpled towers that you see in the background, as Gil mentioned, those support our largest transmission line in the system, and that is 765,000 volts. That's typically energized on that line. And then on both sides of the right-of-way, we have 2 transmission circuits that are energized at 138,000 volts. And as you can tell, we've had a twisting motion that took these towers down. Some of the wood structures on the other transmission lines were literally twisted and snapped, above ground. So we also have roughly 30 transmission structures in addition to these 2 lattice towers that came down. Over the last 24 hours, our focus has really been on damage assessment, isolation of this damaged area to ensure that we switch out the rest of the grid to where it doesn't somehow inadvertently get energized. We grounded the system yesterday, which requires quite an evolution of getting literally grounds up on towers that are intact so that the workers can start handling the conductors in the facilities here. Our focus today, and by the way, we have had crews working 24/7 on this, and will continue with this restoration, and in particular, getting this stabilized. And so that is our focus for today, is that we've deployed lots of heavy equipment. We have cranes, we have large bucket trucks, high reach, and we also have 16 bulldozers out here. And what we need to do is that those bulldozers will be connected to the conductors and the structures that are still up to relieve the tension here for these conductors that are crossing the road. You can imagine that these are high tension lines, and with the damage that's here and the towers that are down, we actually have additional tension that's been put on the conductors. And from a safety standpoint, what we need to do is to get those bulldozers connected, pulled back to sustain the rest of the towers and the conductors, and then put in slack on what's across the roadway. Then we can safely go ahead and start cutting and removing all of the conductors and additional hardware that's associated with what's down on this interstate. We will continue to work very closely with the state police. Our target from ComEd is to have at least our work of clearing these conductors by midnight, and then I do understand that the state also then will need some additional work to clear out the vehicles and the trucks that are here. So again, we are working very closely with the state, communicating updates, and we'll continue to do that as any of that timeline changes. And with that, I'll turn it over now to Major Kelter.
Thank you, Mark. Good morning, everybody. My name is Major David Keltner, Keltner. The Illinois State Police, I'm the Chicago Region Commander, which encompasses Will County here. You've heard of some information already. What I'll do is I'll stick to some of the facts that were associated with the calls for service that we had, and some of the resources and some of the rerouting that we have that are ongoing right now. So on the 15th at 9:22 p.m. here at I-55 and milepost 244, which is near Arsenal Road, we initially received calls for service of a light pole down and wires across the interstate and across the frontage roads. We had officers that responded to the scene immediately, ascertained the situation, and did realize that we had a 5-unit crash that took place. So those that you can see behind you with 2 semi-trucks, a pickup truck, an SUV. There's also 2 additional cars that are over there that are undamaged, that'll be removed at another time when safe to do so. From the crash that we had 2 subjects that were transported. One subject was transported to Morris Hospital by Minooka Fire Department with non-life-threatening injuries, and one subject transported to St. Joe's Hospital by Coal City Fire Department, also with minor injuries, non-life-threatening. So 2 injured in the crash, again, both non-life-threatening. Troopers coordinated with local police, fire, and local EMA groups and IDOT to enact closures right away that evening to make sure that everything was safe. So currently, Our closures include I-55 southbound is closed at US Route 6, with traffic being diverted eastbound and westbound on Route 6, that's milepost 248. I-55 northbound is closed at River Road with traffic being diverted eastbound on River Road, and that's milepost 241. We'd like to thank Minooka Fire Department, Coal City Fire Department, Elwood Fire Department, the Channahon Police Department EMA, the Will County EMA, and also the Sheriff's Office for their assistance. Currently, we do have 6 officers that are signed 24/7 here to assist with traffic control and make sure that the resources for ComEd are making it in and out as they need to, and that we are doing everything, as you guys have heard, as safely as possible to make sure that they have the resources there and we can get the interstate opened as quickly as possible. Once those wires are secured and made safe, we are looking at approximately, and again, it's an estimate between 60 to 90 minutes for us to clear the crashes that are out here and make sure we get those vehicles relocated. And again, I'd like to thank all of our partners with ComEd. It's been a great working relationship. This situation could have been a lot worse given the circumstances, and as we all saw, the weather conditions for almost 2 days that were associated with it, and we're just very thankful that no serious injuries took place or no deaths took place from these incidents. At this time, President, I'll turn it over to you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jennifer Bertino-Tarrant. I'm the Will County Executive. I'm joined here today with Alison Anderson, our Director of Emergency Management. And really, I'm here today with a grateful heart. These past 2 days have obviously been very challenging for the region, but Will County significantly. Almost all of our communities have been impacted. So I want to take this time to thank everyone and show our appreciation who have stepped up and dedicated time and resources to getting us through this. We've seen our government agencies, our public safety agencies, nonprofit organizations, and neighbors throughout the county working to make sure that we recover from this storm. We especially want to thank ComEd and their dedicated employees who have worked tirelessly to return power to residents and businesses. They worked closely with all of us on a local level to prioritize life and safety while rapidly restoring power to our customers. I appreciate they understand the importance of opening I-55, which is a critical transportation route, not only for Will County, but the entire Chicagoland region. And I'm especially thankful, again, to ComEd, the Illinois State Police, Illinois Department of Transportation. They're all working together to safely clear the road, reopen traffic, and get our neighborhoods back to where they belong. So thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Terry Darcy. I'm the mayor of Joliet, and we're really proud of how this collaboration between all the communities centered on the County of Will and what they've done. But I can tell you that for Joliet itself, a third of our city was down. Over 50,000 residents were without power. And as of a few minutes ago, I think we're pretty close to 90% back. So it takes everyone to get together to make this happen. And I want to thank all the first responders, Public Works, the county, all the EMA people that have worked together so diligently, and ComEd has been great. They've really pinpointed the most necessary areas and are doing their best to get us all back in action. So we really want to thank ComEd, thank the county, thank all the EMA of the cities that are working together to get us all back in working order. Nobody's stronger than Mother Nature. We know that. She's the toughest woman on the planet, but we're coming together to make it all work. Thank you.
And, you know, we're ready for your questions if you have some.
So if all goes as planned and smoothly, I mean, there's a good chance that this could be open by, when is the earliest it could be open?
So as Mark Baranek said, our portion of the work, we're targeting to complete it by midnight tonight.
Right.
And as Sir Keltner mentioned, the state police and IDOT will probably need another hour or two. To just clear out some vehicles that have been stranded here and clean the highway to reopen it.
So, so it should be tomorrow morning if everything goes well.
According to absolutely.
Right, thank you.
Any other questions?
I mean, significant, obviously significant damage here. When is the last time you guys have had to deal with a problem like this and an outage like this?
Well. Good that you asked that question. Actually, I'm going to ask Dave Perez, our Chief Operating Officer, because just a few miles from here in the south, there was actually a tornado, was it a month ago?
Yes.
That hit and took towers. If you can just describe, Dave, what happened there. But it's a great question.
You know, the whole, not only here in the Chicagoland area, but across the nation, climate change is having a significant impact on our infrastructure, on all critical infrastructure. You know, you've seen it in all parts of the country. The last time we've seen something like this is an unprecedented type of event. We've not seen this type of catastrophic failure on our transmission right away. We had a tornado that came, you know, as Gil mentioned, a month and a half ago, where we lost over 30 transmission structures as well. And again, these tornadoes, you know, can and will have an impact. The type of resiliency that we invest in our system needs to continue, and one would say we need to increase that investment if we are to be able to be resilient and be able to provide the power that our country, our communities, and our customers require.
John, one last thing before we end. This is really an all hands on deck for ComEd. Not only do we have our officers here, our Chief Operating Officer and Head of our Technical Services, we also have from our parent company, our Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of Exelon, Mike Innocenzo. From our end, this is an all and a whole company approach. We understand how critical this infrastructure, this artery of I-55 to the residents of Illinois, everyone traveling here in and around this area. And we thank everyone for their patience, and we're going to be working really, really hard to reopen this artery as soon as possible. Thank you.
This is a 7-mile stretch, 555 that's closed?
What was that?
This is a 7-mile stretch of 555 that's closed?
Yes, sir. It is approximately 7 miles. Yes, sir.
Approximately 7-mile section.
And real quick, in general, where would you say the hardest hit power outages were, and how long might
Yeah.
it take for some of those?
So when the severe weather happened Monday night into Tuesday, it was really the southern region of our service territory. Think about Joliet, as the mayor said, University Park, Streeter, and then on the western part of our territory, Rockford and Freeport were also hit hard. But we're working as quickly as we can. We're about 84% restored by the time I arrived here, and we're going to be targeting to be in and around the 90% complete by tonight, and tomorrow, do the rest of the restoration.
Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the partnership.
Thank you.
Give us a call.
You've been fabulous.
Give us a call. Mayor.
Thank you so very much. Yeah, we really are grateful. Thank you for all your help. We're very grateful.
I know we have a joint operation.